Yeah, my name is Azar, and I want to thank you all for your talk. Something you said reminded me of a previous seminar, I think it was Animal Rights '06 or '04, where World Wildlife people came to rescue animals in a very poor third world country that had had an earthquake. And when they came there, the people said, "You're here to do what? To rescue our animals?" But what the rescuers did was they built shelters for the people first, and then they put up their tents for the animals, most of which were working animals. And the people who depended on those animals for their livelihood, you know, eking out their existence from the soil, were extremely grateful and got the message. But what the rescuers had to do first was to answer the needs of the people first, then bring their animals into the picture, and at that point they were able to successfully complete their mission.
Thank you for your comment. I believe that you've got a very important point that you made. The first world, particularly the US and Canada and so on, have lost a lot of credibility in terms of our intent when we go overseas to do work, because so far historically all the overseas work have been self-serving. Particularly, let's say, I don't want to offend anybody, but I personally am very strongly against Christian missionaries, for example, imposing their views on other people's cultures with you know, threats of hellfire forever. And this kind of external forcing of views on people have really damaged our credibility. Our movement is pure-hearted. We are there to help the animals and help people, but we have to bear the burden, bear the process, to say. And so, you know, we've got to really, first of all, go in there and really show our true heart to the people and let them understand that we're there to help them, not to exploit them.
I don't know how exactly good it is for me to ask this.
Could you state your name first, please?
Rebecca Turner, or if there's any feds, I'll give my address later. I've had a problem, and I've really been a lot better the last probably 7 or 8 years, but very racist against Asians, particularly Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, Koreans. And what happened was, I was growing up really bad, and I've gotten, I think it started with, went veggie very young, and then I saw the dog meat trade, and it made me so upset. And looking back, I mean, the things that we as Americans do are so horrible too. But I just wanted to ask, when y'all have been to Japan, I know you talked about going there for a while, were you just disgusted at their culture? I don't know, this is hard to do because I know you want to sugarcoat it, and me, if I'm a racist, then I'm no better than a speciesist, you know? I hear things over there, I guess, that seem maybe even worse than the things we do in some respects, but I'm a big, I'm a dog lover. Like, I have 10 dogs, and so when I see, you know, the dogs there were just skinned and nothing but they're not even cut apart, like they're right there. And you know how they do when they stuff their legs in their mouth and they sit them out on the table for people to buy. Are you any more disgusted at that culture than you are at ours? And I mean, we're all, especially, gosh, as far as globally, the U.S. is, you would know better than anybody, probably doing more harm to the environment. So I don't know how to ask this, because I have a lot of bitterness, even though I think that it's unwarranted.
Yeah, I'll start on that one. Just,
that's a hard one
no,
to ask.
I'm not any more disgusted than anybody else. At Farm, we got, when the dog meat trade in Korea became public in the U.S., we started getting calls and people wanted us to do something. And it was the biggest hypocrisy to me, because I know that those people are eating pigs and cows and chickens, and the killing and eating of a dog is no worse. It's very comparable to what we do to pigs. The cultures that you're discussing, you know, they have got more open markets. Is that more disgusting than the fact that we hide it behind concrete walls and we can't see it? So
I tend to think too, and I was telling somebody this last night, I said, you know, it's so upsetting. When you see somebody eat meat, you think, you know, those people, they just don't know. They're good people, they're just not aware, so let me tell them. And when you know somebody that's close to you and you tell them over and over again, it's not like you just pass them a pamphlet and they put it down. When you tell them or you show them videos and then they continue to do it, you know, I'm like, you've got to be a bad person to know what's going on. You know, I like to think that everybody says, oh, the meat eaters, they're block vegetarians. You know what I mean? But I guess maybe that's a little bit what I'm saying when it's an open market and they actually see it and then they still do it. I don't know what I'm saying. I think, like I said, the last 7 or 8 years, you know, growing up, it's I've really, you know, dealt with it. But you know, I was young and I was just attacking people just because they were from, you know,
I think
Korea.
you're on a really good path.
I'm getting redundant.
You know, being self-aware and looking at it. A lot of times, just to keep in mind that, you know, you get comfortable with things in your own environment, in your own society. So then when you see it somewhere else, you know, it's going to strike you harder, or you're going to be more judgmental, but you haven't acclimated. So that people in their own cultures are very acclimated to what it is that's going on. And when they would come here, they would see things that would be horrible to them and things of that nature. And so just to look at things in those terms and just keep working on it, because you are, you know, you're making a lot of progress and really getting there. And being able to understand that will help you have more peace within yourself and be able to be a better activist to everybody involved. And I just wanted to, if you guys had anything to say, but I just wanted to just address that also as an American in dealing with the other cultures.
I get a lot, everybody says that's their culture. And I say, but it's our, you know what, it's my culture to eat cows. It's my culture. You know what, I went against my culture, you know, and that's always, I get that in everything.
Your friends and family, I mean, you know good people who are eating meat.
Exactly.
There's a lot of really good people out there who eat meat still. And it's not that they're not good people, but, and some of them know. I'm sorry. And the thing is we all want to think, if they just knew, but I've been doing this a while, and I know people who've been doing it much longer, and people will know. We will tell them, and they will still do it, because there's so many mechanisms socially and psychologically that will keep the system going. So it's much more than just knowing, and that's what we got to try to figure out.